Have you ever noticed that economic experts seem to be wrong about the future just as often as a local weather reporter predicts a sunny day right before a massive thunderstorm? Why is it that the people in charge of steering the American economy seem to have no idea where the cliff actually is? Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics and the forces shaping your financial future, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures we can keep bringing you the unfiltered truth. Let's look at the facts. We live in an era where data is supposedly king. We have supercomputers, complex algorithms, and Ivy League intellectuals constantly poring over spreadsheets to tell us exactly what next year's inflation will be or when the next recession will hit. Yet, look at the recent track record. These experts completely missed the scale of post-pandemic inflation. They flip-flopped on whether interest rate hikes would trigger a total collapse or a soft landing. It is almost as if the entire framework they are using to look at the world is fundamentally broken. The core issue isn't just a lack of intelligence, it's a structural failure. Economic forecasting relies on the assumption that humans act rationally and that markets behave like predictable machines. But when you look closer, you realize that many of these models are riddled with institutional bias. Economists often reside in a bubble, disconnected from the reality of the small business owner, the worker facing rising grocery costs, or the family struggling with mortgage rates. They build models that satisfy their colleagues, not models that reflect the chaotic, unpredictable nature of the real world. Then there is the laziness factor. In a rush to publish, many analysts rely on legacy data sets that simply don't account for the speed of modern information. They rely on outdated methodologies that prioritize maintaining the status quo over identifying genuine, disruptive trends. And, of course, there is the fear. If an economist dares to deviate too far from the consensus, they risk their reputation, their funding, and their standing in the professional establishment. It is safer to be wrong in a crowd than to be right while standing alone. What does this mean for you? It means the guidance you are receiving from the mainstream financial and political establishment is inherently unreliable. When policy decisions, whether they involve tax rates, government spending, or interest rates, are based on flawed projections, the average American is the one left holding the bill. We see a disconnect between official reports of a strong economy and the reality of a shrinking middle class. The outcomes of this incompetence are tangible: eroded savings, diminished purchasing power, and an increasingly volatile financial landscape where the rules seem to change every single quarter. We are essentially flying a plane where the cockpit instruments are calibrated to a map from 50 years ago. The people in charge are terrified of admitting that their instruments don't work, so they keep pushing the throttles based on readings that are essentially ghost data. This isn't just about math, it is about power. By controlling the forecast, they control the narrative, and by controlling the narrative, they maintain a grip on the economy that they should have lost a long time ago. So what do you think about this? Do you believe these economists are just genuinely mistaken, or is there a more sinister intent behind these constant failed predictions? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know if you think the system is broken or just rigged. Ultimately, we have to start questioning the authorities who have been wrong for a decade straight. Blind trust in expertise is a luxury we can no longer afford. It is time to look at the patterns, identify the biases, and realize that when it comes to the economy, you are your own best forecaster. The truth is often hidden in plain sight, and the more we hold these institutions accountable, the harder it will be for them to keep peddling their failed prophecies. Stay alert, stay critical, and keep watching.